Hey guys, and welcome back into the channel. So today we're going to be doing a little bit different type of video. It's going to be a 9-hole match play between two of the most iconic movies of all time, Caddyshack versus Happy Gilmore. So here's how I got it all set up. I have 9 criteria, and this will be based on cast, director, writing, soundtrack, plot, character development, which holds best over time, innovativeness, and then 9 will be the overall score. And we'll come up with a winner in this head-to-head battle between two of the most iconic movies of all time. Did I say that already? So sit back, get your popcorn ready, grab your peanut butter cups, and get hydrated because it's time for a movie match play. The first criteria on my list is the cast. What movie has a better cast? So let's analyze Happy Gilmore first. So the hero of the film is played by Adam Sandler, and he is the only real main character, and just scattered throughout are all these other side characters, which are super iconic, awesome characters. So Christopher McDonald plays Shooter McGavin. Julie Bowen, who went on to do so many different things, she plays Virginia Bennett. And what's the deal with all the V names in the Adam Sandler movies? You have Vicky Valancourt, Veronica Vaughn, Virginia Bennett. Just, what was the deal? He could only date women with 2 V's in his name? I'd like to know the inside story on that. Frances Bay is Grandma Gilmore, who I know really as the Shut up, you old pig! Seinfeld. Carl Weathers, love him in Predator. Alan Covert plays the homeless caddy. You can't really recognize him in this, but he went on to be in a lot of Adam Sandler movies, like Everything. Kevin Nealon has an awesome side part. Richard Kiel, Dennis Dugan, who is also the director of this movie. He plays Doug. Joe Flannery. Will Sasso is in this as the mover. Lee Trevino has a bit part, and he only has 1 line in the movie. Bob Barker plays himself. Vern Lindquist plays himself. Ben Stiller is uncredited in this movie, but he is Hal L. I don't know why he was not credited, because he is one of the things you really come away remembering how evil he is. There you go, Happy Gilmore's cast. Now let's go over and look at Caddyshack. So Caddyshack, you have like a real big time sensational cast in this. Chevy Chase, Rodney Dangerfield, Ted Knight, Bill Murray, Michael O'Keefe as Danny. Just an unbelievable amount of great people in this movie, which as we go forward you'll find out that made this movie really, really difficult to make. Bill Murray's brother Brian Doyle is in this as well. So hole 1 goes to Caddyshack. You can't argue with Caddyshack's main stars: Chevy, Bill Murray, Rodney Dangerfield, Ted Knight. An absolutely iconic group of characters. Although Sandler goes on to be a really big star in the future, and he has a couple of big stars in the movie with him, a much better cast in Caddyshack. Hole 2, directors. Harold Ramis versus Dennis Dugan. Dennis Dugan directed Happy Gilmore, and he had only directed Problem Child and another movie called Brain Donors before this. This started a long partnership with Adam Sandler, went on through many movies. Big Daddy, he partnered with Adam Sandler as like the main comedic actor that he worked with his entire career. I think for his 3rd movie that Happy Gilmore comes off is pretty concise as far as like the storyline and keeping the storyline moving, and at least showing like what the problem is and the plot and everything. Happy Gilmore is pretty well directed. I mean, it's not some piece of movie magic the Academy Awards are gonna fawn over, but that's not why we watch Adam Sandler movies. We watch them because they're fun, lighthearted, and you don't have to think that much when you're watching it. Sometimes you like that. You don't always want to watch something super serious. On the other hand, Harold Ramis in Caddyshack, he is a complete train wreck as a director in this movie. I mean, I watched many interviews with him talking about this is the very first movie he directed, how everybody's calling him sir on set. He had a really hard time wrangling out, because the official storyline of Caddyshack was really supposed to be about Danny and the caddies. That was totally lost because most everybody on this movie, Rodney Dangerfield, Chevy, Bill Murray, it ended up being a lot of non-scripted, off the cuff. It has that feel of sketch comedy in a real movie. The first edits came out of Caddyshack, when they first edited the movie down, it was 5 hours long. And they had to take that from 5 hours down to an hour and 38 minutes. And even once they edited the movie down to a couple hours, they realized that there was no story in the movie whatsoever. So there you go. So the director in this is going to go to David Dugan. I think Happy Gilmore, as far as like how the movie was directed, it just has a more concise story that you can follow. The story and the characters and how it moves along is just much better timed. The whole three, writing. Caddyshack has a pretty interesting story about how it was written and what it was written about, and then what was actually shown in the movie. So Brian Doyle Murray, Bill Murray's brother, actually wrote Caddyshack because him and his brother, and then also Douglas Kenney, they all had worked as caddies in the past or worked at golf courses. So they wrote the movie about caddies and really about the main character in the movie, Danny. What happened during the directing of the movie was most of everything that was written in the original script did not make it to the cutting room floor, did not make it onto the big screen, because everything when they were making the movie was just off the cuff humor played out by these grand characters, and they just recorded over and over again all this slapstick type of humor. So there you have it. I mean, Caddyshack, it's a train wreck of a written material. Nothing of it really goes together that well. It's not until the really end of the movie where you see Danny and what's happening with him. Happy Gilmore was written by Tim Herlihy and Adam Sandler. And then most people don't know this, that Judd Apatow came in at the end and really like polished up a lot of the jokes and different things. I guess, just some problems with the script. He just like glazed over and polished up a lot of it, made it just a little bit shinier, better. Sometimes you have those loose ends in your writing and you can't find a great joke out of some certain things. You can tell when you watch Happy Gilmore, it's just a much more polished movie than Caddyshack is. It doesn't have like a Saturday Night Live feel per se so much. Even some of the scenes with Sandler and his antics and everything, you can just tell it's written. It's made to be. The side characters are written to be as they are. They're not just doing it off the cuff. So this round goes to Happy Gilmore. I think Happy Gilmore is just a lot better written movie because they follow a formula and they follow more of a script. Okay, moving on to soundtrack on hole 4. Caddyshack's soundtrack was really written by Johnny Mandel. Happy Gilmore's soundtrack was written by Mark Mothersbaugh. Mark Mothersbaugh wrote the song Whip It, and that's what he's well known for. Most people don't remember that Johnny Mandel wrote the music for Caddyshack. They remember Kenny Loggins wrote the song I'm Alright, which that is so iconic. The I'm Alright song with the gopher. People love that damn gopher. I mean, above all, that beginning part with the gopher dancing to I'm Alright, that makes it best. I mean, I think the thing that comes to my mind first is Tuesday's Gone, that song played by Lynyrd Skynyrd at the beginning of Happy Gilmore, and they're showing everything that happened with his dad and everything. And then they also play that song at the end. That's probably the most iconic song of that. This round, soundtrack goes to Kenny Loggins and Caddyshack because that song was written specifically for this movie. Kenny Loggins, he became somewhat of a small superstar because of this. Hole 5, plot. So this is where the plot, Caddyshack, way overmatched by Happy Gilmore when it comes to plot, because Caddyshack has no plot. For the first hour and 20 minutes you're watching Caddyshack, you don't know what the hell is going on. It really is one of those movies that just has no plot at all. And when you watch it, I mean, even when I watched it for the first time as like an 8-year-old boy, I'm like, what the heck is this movie? What is this supposed to be about? It has nothing that it's really about. The main character is really supposed to be Danny, the caddy. They could almost remake this movie and just remake it as Caddyshack, but the original script. I mean, Happy Gilmore, on the other hand, as much as you could hate Happy Gilmore, like many people do. Many people hate Happy Gilmore and Adam Sandler movies, but at least you have a clear problem from the beginning of the movie. His grandmother's house gets taken. He needs to be the hero and find a way to come up with this money so that he can get his grandmother's house back. Even though he's a crazy guy who stabs people with skates, he at least cares enough about his grandmother. And for some reason, his grandmother does have to go into a nursing home immediately after they take her stuff, even though the house isn't going to be auctioned off for a few more months. She immediately goes into a home. That part does not make that much sense in the plot, but you know, it made it with the orderly guy being such a jerk, you know, that it made that seem like he wanted to get her out of there even more because Ben Stiller is a jerk in the movie. So Happy Gilmore has a better plot. Happy Gilmore goes 1 up on hole 5 here, and we have 4 more criteria to go, and Happy Gilmore is 1 up. So let's see what's going to happen. Hole 6 is character development. So Happy Gilmore's character does change slightly from the beginning of the movie till the end. I mean, in the beginning, he is very brash, mean-spirited, almost angry. Roger Ebert says like the character is so angry it's hard to, I mean, I don't see that. That's somebody who just doesn't appreciate Adam Sandler for being this angry, lovable character that he is. But the characters develop in Happy Gilmore somewhat, and there are some very lovable characters. Chubbs, the caddy, the homeless caddy. I believe that Caddyshack just has way better characters because Bill Murray, Chevy Chase, these two guys are at the top of their game, coming off of SNL and going into the 80s. These guys become very well known. And Rodney Dangerfield, at this time, this is one of his first movies that he was ever in. Before this, he was really known for, you know, his stand-up and going on Carson and doing those bits and then like sitting down by him. And the Rodney character is really what makes it take the cake on this, because not only do you have Bill Murray and Chevy Chase and Ted Knight, I mean, the judge in Caddyshack, absolutely hilarious when he catches Danny having sex with his niece, and then he tears the entire room apart with a golf club. But there you have it. The characters of Caddyshack, they're just better, and they hold up better over time. Hole 7, which movie holds up best over time? Between these two movies, my opinion is that Happy Gilmore holds up a lot better over time. I think if you showed both of these movies to younger people today or anybody today, between the two, it's not that. I think the main part of Caddyshack, I love the lines, I love everything with Rodney Dangerfield and all of that, but I just think overall, when you watch it today, they don't make many movies that really don't have a plot like Caddyshack does. And when you watch Happy Gilmore, at least there is some attachment to some of the characters that you care what happens to them. And I think that's why Happy Gilmore wins this round. All right, moving on to hole 8. Innovativeness. You can't really compete with Caddyshack when it comes to innovativeness. There's only really one movie made before Caddyshack, which is Animal House, that was made with this same type of young people coming of age comedy made in this type of a way. In a lot of ways, Happy Gilmore copies that overall theme. The guy from the other side of the tracks against the super rich, more well-established golf community, which we all know today. So Caddyshack wins on innovativeness, and we're gonna head to hole 9, all square, and see how this is all gonna pan out here on the last hole of this movie match play. Okay, well, we've been through 8 holes of intense competition between these two movies. So who's it gonna be? Overall score between Happy Gilmore and Caddyshack. Well, I'm about to tell you right now, it's gonna be Caddyshack, and I'm gonna tell you why. One thing that was a tipping point for me was seeing, while I was in the middle of making this video, the Super Bowl commercial, which goes out to a wide audience, with Tony Romo playing Bill Murray in that commercial. It just shows that Caddyshack has a much bigger pop culture influence, and just overall the movie is just a touch ahead of Happy Gilmore, and it's had 16 years to get ahead of Happy Gilmore. So thank you for watching this video. If you like this content, subscribe to my channel. It really helps me with making more and more videos. If you subscribe to the channel and you comment down below, next week when I hit 100 subscribers, I will be giving away a free set of golf balls. Like the video, comment down below, and you'll be getting a free set of golf balls. You'll be in the running for that, and I'll pick a number out of a hat, send that right over to you. So thank you so much for watching the videos. Stay classy out there, golf fans.